transparency and accountability is cool in my company. I'm a big that's the culture I want. And so, when you're a manager just hired in my company, we give you your playbook. You can actually just on your own time read up on what your role is and then actually come to us with questions, which is a really great way to, I think, learn and onboard versus just teaching you every single thing. Coming up with those ways of inspecting what you inspect remotely, that alone is its own science. And I don't want to do it secretively. I want them to know, hey, I'm aware of this, I have access to this, I look at this, and they need to know that.
So how does your playbook work or whatever you're willing to share on it? Like, so you're coming into buying a new, not new, but buying an existing location, and you have this model and framework of like, all right, we're going to run these plays. What does that look like? How has that been so effective at growing sales quickly?
There's a lot of, and yes, I'm younger, and I love the challenge of trying to make running this business work without technology, but it would obviously just be a lot less efficient. So I don't know that we could have hit these newer levels without using like a project management tool. I've been a big user of asana.com for years, and it's literally like a playbook for each individual member of the management team. Their responsibilities, whether they're as needed, daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, quarterly, whatever it is, they're all in writing, literally with instructions, and they're checking off the task. So like I can actually see whether or not they did it. So transparency and accountability is cool in my company. I'm a big that's the culture I want. And so, when you're a manager just hired in my company, we give you your playbook. You can actually just on your own time read up on what your role is and then actually come to us with questions, which is a really great way to, I think, learn and onboard versus just teaching you every single thing, which is really just time consuming and not necessarily the best way to learn. So, I do want to be the owner who literally has a recurring task that says refill the water wall with distilled water once a week and check it off, because I do like to just know that there's no uh, you know um just ambiguousness as far as like what their responsibilities are and who's doing what. So, if you're the manager, the reality is everything in that business is your responsibility. If you're a co-manager, then you get to share those responsibilities. And the regional manager's job is to make sure the manager gets all of those things done and then potentially take some of those responsibilities off the manager's plate because they might be pushing that boundary of, do I need a second manager? Do I not? The revenue's not there yet. So we leverage some external resource to help share the responsibilities, but it's all in Asana. It's all outlined. It's all very clear. And I like that it works. Um, but I also, want things to not be completely rigid where there's not this individuality in terms of like if one spa wants to do something this way and the other spa does something this way, as long as there's not a negative for the difference, I'm okay with it because, it gives people that independence. I just did this talk yesterday with my team. Like, I don't want to meddle into what's going on. I'm only going to come in and meddle when the numbers aren't good, or there's conflict. So not so much metrics, dollar signs, but cultural issues, drama, tension. That's when I'll meddle, and I'm doing my very best to assess that really without you even making me aware of it, through the ways that we can transparently monitor a business without being in it, which, in this day and age is a lot easier to do versus, to be a multi unit owner and not be in the business is a lot easier to do now than it's ever been. And coming up with those ways of inspecting what you inspect remotely, that alone is its own science. And I don't want to do it secretively. I want them to know, hey, I'm aware of this. I have access to this. I look at this, and they need to know that.
If you enjoyed this short clip from the podcast, you can check out another short clip right here. Or if you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, you can watch that here. And remember, knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge that's power. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.